recuperate, so now he's going to go right back to getting him into the rope.
There used to be a time when Roy Jones didn't want to fight southpaws, didn't like fighting. Now he's gotten so used to it, he's creating more and more ways of attacking against the southpaw.
You notice he never changes anything about himself. He doesn't look to plant his left foot anywhere. He just boxes as though he's fighting a regular right-hander.
Fourth straight time he's defended his title against the southpaw. He's not really worried about it anymore. I was going to say, George, that in the later rounds of his battle with Duval last summer in Madison Square Garden in New York, Jones clearly got bored and distracted. And it helped lead to the first knockdown of his career as Duval was able to knock him down. Johnson has to be hoping that Roy's mind will wander again as he has completely dominated the first 7 rounds.
Another thing you can pay some attention to, the referees. Whenever Reggie gets Roy on the ropes, the referee comes in and says, get back. Now, wait a minute. You can still fight on the ropes.
All right, let's go. Get out, fellas. Get out.
Star-studded crowd in Biloxi. Evander Holyfield across the ring in the middle of your shot, looking right at you. And farther over to the left extreme edge of the screen, right behind Roy Jones, is Michael Jordan. Everybody loves to come to boxing matches.
That's good. You see nothing on that side.
No, we're in Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Glamour, the pump.
MISSI, SSI, PPI.
Put some on top of his head.
Let's try to put three together at least.
Body punishment, George.
Yeah, Roy Jones had started just whenever he wanted to, but that's his calling card. Throw hard shots to the body. Neither. Those things hurt.
Seconds. Let's go, corner.
When your corner telling you to go.
Norma Johnson's son, Reggie, way down in the fight. Way behind on the scorecards. Roy Jones leaking about a gallon of water onto the ring canvas right now. I don't know how they're going to keep their footing in this corner of the ring, because Roy came back in as though he had just emerged from the shower.
Reggie picks up the pace a little bit, trying to find a way.
Pop, pop. Jones's hand speed still there. Hard right to the body by Reggie Johnson. And the blood begins to flow again next to Reggie's right eye. How about the cut in the corner of the eye like that, George? Bothersome because the blood trickles in?
Yes, bothersome. And also, people don't understand that losing blood in a boxing match sure can make you weak.
Even from the small cuts?
Small cuts. Every bit of your body, you've been training for months. You haven't been bleeding in the gym. You need every drop. Only he can make Roy Jones lose his temper a little bit and just get wild like that. Then Reggie's in business. You want him to keep doing that. That's the only chance that Reggie can get something in himself.
Partially blocked right hand shot. Jones loading up right hands and trying to look for a knockout here.
For a moment, he lost his concentration and started winging them a little without any accuracy. That's when you want to counter.
But Reggie didn't counter.
Reggie, like I said, the losing of the blood, the knockdowns, bended his legs a few times.
The discouragement, the confusion, the blinding hand speed of Roy Jones. The counter punches that hurt. The fact that it's a hard sport, not an easy sport. The fact that you train months to get yourself ready for disappointment like this, if you're Reggie Johnson, it's tough.
Yeah, but the fight moves on. You got to think like the hare in the tortoise. Hey, let the rabbit get away. win the race, thinking he's winning. Then he goes to sleep, pass him up. And that was the first jab that Reggie was able to land that time.
Hard right hand lands for Jones. Little left hook behind it. Straight right hand lands again. Johnson not punching as Jones goes to work.
Those body shots, they hurt.
Wins the 9th round by about 6 miles.
All right, we run around. That's all I want. All I want. What is it? Let's keep running around. Stand coming out. Right, Reggie?
You got 3 more rounds, man. Come on. Let's go, man. You got 3 more rounds. You want to be champion of the world, man? Come on, let's go.
Okay, Reggie? All right. Go here. Let's go in. Any water? Feeling good? Are we going to the 10? Yeah, good shot. Yeah.
In 2 separate rounds here tonight, by CompuBox numbers, Reggie Johnson has landed 1 punch in 1 round, 2 punches in another round. Jones, you'll recall, once held Vinny Pazienza to 0 connects for a complete round. That's the only time in the history of CompuBox punch counting that a fighter held an opponent without a connect in an entire round. Letterman, how do you have it through 9?
Jim, you know, those numbers only point out the fact that you have to give Roy Jones credit for great defense as well as ring generalship and great punching. 90-79, 9 rounds to nothing. Roy Jones Jr. I think he's just pitching a shutout. I think it's one of the best performances I ever saw him put on against the current reigning world champion. I mean, this is some performance by Jones. Quick, he's got as much speed now as he did in the first round.
Don't let
Only the 2 two-point rounds.
Jim, let me point out something. MON, I've just warned Roy Jones for measuring Reggie Johnson. Some referees will let you get away with it as long as you keep the glove closed. Elmo's not letting Roy measure Reggie Johnson. He wants him to pull the left arm back.
George? Jones just so much quicker.
I think the biggest mistake for Reggie was to get in that knockout in the last to win the world championship by way of knockout. Started to put a lot of confidence into power that just was not there tonight.
Well, but he was perfectly satisfied to go for the decision against Will Taylor a few months ago to set this fight up. Maybe he felt coming in tonight as though his best chance was going to be to knock Roy out.
Yeah, because it seems to me all night he's been waiting to counter and get in one big shot.
Johnson was very respectful of Jones in pre-fight publicity. When he came to news conferences to promote the fight, as was the case here in the past week, he said, hey, I'm the underdog and I ought to be the underdog. Everybody knows who Roy is, but I'm planning to win the fight in big style.
Roy is totally dropping his hands as though he has no regard, no respect for Reggie now.
Well, I think he feels as though he's taken all the snap out of Reggie's punches with his body punching and the punishment he's dealt out.
And he still possesses his speed. I'm Reggie, put my feet together and start walking this guy down, throwing hard shots.
Low blow by Johnson. Jones points it out to Adolph. Adolph properly warns Reggie to keep him up.
You see, when you're fighting a guy and he spreads his legs, he's farther and farther away from you. What do you want to do? Don't spread yours also. Bring those feet together and walk them down, keeping the feet no more than 1 foot apart from one another.
Looks like it's a lesson Johnson will have to learn for another fight. Gruesome numbers in only 1 round of the fight as Reggie Johnson landed in double figures by CompuBox punch count.
You got 2 rounds left in you, man.
He got to catch up. We ain't got to catch up.